Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel logicmedico. Today's topic MCQs in ENT year part 7. Let's start with MCQ. The first one, the auricle attains 90 to 95% of the adult size by what age? 5 to 6 years of age at birth, 9 to 12 years of age, 11 to 15 years of age, 13 to 18 years of age. The time starts now. Time's up. Answer is 5 to 6 years of age. Okay. So the auricle attains 90 to 95% of the adult size by 5 to 6 years of age. Due to this fact, otoplasty is only performed around the age of 6 years onwards. So when we are born, our auricle is really small up to 5 to 6 years of age. After that, it doesn't grow. It will remain one constant size. So usually any otoplastic or any surgical procedure involving the pinna or the auricle is done after 6 years of age. Okay, isn't it interesting? The structures developed from all the three germ is pinna, tympanic cavity, tympanic membrane, mastoid process or the cochlea. The time starts now. If you are told option C, then you are correct. It's a tympanic membrane, because tympanic membrane develops from ectoderm, endoderm as well as the adjoining mesoderm. So tympanic membrane has got three layers. The outer layer is called the cuticular layer. It's coming from ectoderm. The inner layer is called the mucous layer. It is derived from endoderm. In between there will be a fibrous layer. It is derived from the mesoderm. So all the three germ layers, that is ectoderm, endoderm and mesoderm, all the three give rise to tympanic membrane. Okay. Next, the Eustachian tube is made up of option hyaline cartilage, elastic cartilage, white fiber cartilage, all of the above. Time starts now. Eustachian tube can open and close like an elastic rubber band. So therefore, if you are told option B, then you are correct. It's made up of elastic cartilage, Eustachian tube. Even our external auditory canal and pinna is also made up of elastic cartilage. Okay. In the left middle ear pathology, Weber's test will be, options are lateralized to right side, positive, lateralized to left side, centralized or normal. These are your options. The time starts now. Left middle ear pathology. If you are told option C, then you are told the correct answer. It is lateralized to left side. It's a middle ear pathology. So in Weber's test, it will be lateralized. So let's see what is this Weber's test in brief. Initially, we have to strike the prongs of the tuning fork and place it on the middle of the scalp of the patient, or you can also place it on the forehead. So we should ask the patient, where do you hear the sound? The patient should usually normally tell, I can hear sound both the sides equally. That means is normal. So normally the patient hears equally on both the sides. If it is lateralized, it's usually lateralized to the worst ear in case of conductive deafness. But it will be lateralized to the better ear if the person has got sensorineural deafness. Let's take this as the worst side. If it hears that side only, that is conductive hearing loss. Or if he hears on the opposite side, that means there is a sensorineural hearing loss on this side. Okay. In Weber's test, we only use the bone as a conduction. Bone is the only source for conduction of the sound here. So lateralization of the sound waves in Weber's test with 512 Hz indicates the person has got a conductive hearing loss of 15 to 25 decibels or a sensorineural hearing loss on the opposite side, if he is hearing on the opposite side, of same 15 to 25 decibels. I hope you understood this. Next MCQ number 5. Which of the following is the cause for sensorineural hearing loss? Options: presbyacusis, tympanosclerosis, otosclerosis, longitudinal fracture of the temporal bone, cholesteatoma. The time starts now. If you are told option A, then you are told correct answer. Presbyacusis is usually happens in any person who is 60 plus with aging there will be sensorineural hearing loss which can happen in both the ears. So it's a bilateral condition. Presbyocusis is occurring in old age. It's a sensorineural hearing loss. Okay. Next question, question number 6. Obliteration of postauricular sulcus is found in options: acute mastoiditis, acute petrositis, malignant otitis externa, otomycosis, Gardenigo's syndrome. Time starts now. I will give you a clue. Postauricular sulcus is a depression behind the auricle, in front of mastoid. Can you guess? If you have guessed acute mastoiditis, then you got. I gave you a clue also. So behind the ear, in front of mastoid. So in acute mastoiditis, there will be swelling and edema in that area, just behind the auricle. So usually, if you can feel now, there will be depression behind your auricle, isn't it? That sulcus, postauricular sulcus, will be filled. Obliteration means disappearance. Okay. So postauricular sulcus will be full. There won't be any depression over there in acute mastoiditis. Hope you understood this. Next one. Most common cause of bilateral conductive deafness in a child is options: otosclerosis, acute otitis media with effusion, congenital cholesteatoma, chronic suppurative otitis media. So time starts now. Okay, if you are told option C, then you are told the correct answer. This is because the Eustachian tube in child is short and narrow and straight. So whatever breastfeeding is done, if the mother is not keeping the head end of the child at higher level, then the fluid, breast milk, will enter the middle ear through the Eustachian tube, causing effusion, that is more amount of liquid in the middle ear. Inflammation of middle ear as well. It's called otitis media with effusion. It's very common in a child. Okay. Next question, question number 8. All are true about earwax except pH is acidic in normal healthy canals, contains a bactericidal enzyme, is a combination of secretions of sebaceous and apocrine glands, needs to be removed periodically, secretions from outer third of external auditory canal. Time starts now. Time is up. It need not be removed periodically. Okay. So all the other options are correct. Okay. So this is the external auditory canal in which cerumen or the wax is produced. The direction of the external auditory canal, the outer part especially, can you see it's reclining outwards, or if you turn medially, it's upwards, backwards and medially. In the inner part, it is downwards, forwards and medially. So most of the wax produced over here, or the cerumen produced over here, naturally will come down through this tilted position. So all that they have to do is wipe that area after taking a head bath. It will come off automatically. There is a natural way of drainage. There is no need to require it. Remove it periodically. There is no requirement for that. Okay. Question number 9. Speech frequencies include. So which is the speech frequencies? 500,000, 2000 Hertz, 125, 250, 2000 Hertz, 250, 500,000 Hertz, 1000, 2000, 3000, 2000, 3000, 4000 Hertz. Your time starts now. So if you are told first option, option A, then you are told the correct answer. It's 500, 1000 and 2000 Hertz. Different speech, starting from whispering to shouting. This is the range of frequencies, speech frequencies. Okay. Human ear actually can hear the sound frequencies from 20,000 to 20k Hertz. That is 20 Hertz to 20 kilohertz. But we can speak from 500. That is when whispering during exam. While copying, you'll ask, hey, what is the answer for that? Hey, what is the answer? Still we can hear that. Okay. Then 1000 normal conversation. Then loud screaming and all when teacher is not there, 2000 Hertz. Okay. Otoacoustic emissions are produced by options are inner hair cells, outer hair cells, basilar membrane, auditory nerve, sacculonutrical. Your time starts now. The time is almost up. Definitely it is hair cells. Which hair cells? If you are told the outer hair cells, then you are told the correct answer. So outer hair cells are the one which produces otoacoustic emissions. Okay. They are present in the organ of Corti, the receptor for hearing. Okay. Coming to the last bonus question, the augmentation power of the sound wave by the tympanic membrane is options 14 times, 15 times, 18 times or 17 times. These are the options. Your time starts now. How many times the tympanic membrane can increase the or amplify the sound wave? Okay. How many times? 18 times. Answer is 22 times. Answer is 14 times. Okay. 18 times overall the entire middle ear put together, it can be 18.2 times, but only tympanic membrane is asked here, so answer is 14 times. Okay, got this? Okay, hope this was interesting. Like and share this video with your family and friends. Subscribe to my channel and press the bell button for the latest update. Don't forget to press the bell button. Okay.